Today, we get into the qualifying rounds in the national tournament. These are the boxing tournament rounds that are going to lead our guys to the Olympics. And I have to apologize because I bashed the game so hard, but under the period of time in which we felt that there were not going to be any Olympics anymore because there's so much back and forth about, who's the boss and who's in control. And it was a lot of ego going on. What transpired is the Olympics are definitely back in the house. So today we're going to get into the national qualifying rounds. These guys are competing to fight in the Olympics, and we're in day 3. And if you guys want to watch, it's at, let me put the website up there, boxing.org. Uh, they start shortly, like in the next few minutes. So you can go up there and you can check it out today and support our young athletes. They're being groomed as men. But I wanted to share with you kind of what to expect when you are going to the Olympics. Or if you got athletes that are developing into little programs that there needs to be in place. And so just yesterday, I was over here in Overtown down in Miami, and what we found out is that there's a lot going on, but at the same time, there's a lot that could be put in place. And so maybe you guys have seen the post that I did about showing you how to, you new coaches or coaches who've been in the game and you're trying to level up your gym, or get into a new gym or start a boxing program. It's exactly what you need to look for. And we do need you because boxing needs you, and we need to have a strong hold on our sport. These are the things you need to look for. There are 10 things that you have to look for when you're starting a boxing gym. So if you are getting ready to do that, take a look at that video. It's on the post directly up under this live stream. Even if you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, you can watch that post. It's about 3 minutes long and it gives you nothing but game. And we want you all who are really at that place where you're working with young athletes, that you can have the real recipe. And as I break down what we're going to get into, we're going to talk about the levels. How many actual levels is it in amateur boxing? So the reason why I say that is because there's so many events and tournaments that I've gone to over the decades, and I saw a very obvious disposition constantly where there are people who literally just didn't belong. And the reason why that is because their coach fault. And the only level he understood is the level that he got to. And so that's how he trains his fighters. So we want to make sure that coaches now know that there's education out there. So it's levels to it. And I'm going to tell you exactly what levels are. But what I started to notice is that there were guys going there and they were just getting flattened. Only in the first round, only in the first rounds. Second rounds, maybe. Third rounds, you're dealing with people who are really of that pedigree. And I'm going to break down in this conversation right now exactly how many levels and why is it that you see this at these tournaments. But it would bother me because if we were competing against someone and we dominated them, it wasn't a big difference. It wasn't a big deal because our guys were highly skilled, because we are third generation and there was just too much knowledge in our corner. Our camps aren't like anyone's camps that you go to. They are like the Olympic Training Center. Anthony Joshua was on the record saying, if you want to make it to the highest level of boxing, when you're at home, your camps have to be set up that way, because he said a lot of guys that he noticed went from the Olympics, they went back to their own local neighborhoods, to their boxing gym, and then they couldn't get anywhere in the pros because they weren't developing as elite anymore. Because when you go to the Olympic Training Center, you're going to see a system, a process in place that you will never see at home. But that's what we show our coaches that come into the School of Boxing. the system that the most the highest level, number 6 on that chart of the levels, the highest level. And it's a big disparity. And I didn't like seeing that. And I don't know if you've ever been to an event and you just seen a guy just get blown away. Like you knew he didn't belong. Well, that's kind of what it was. What I was seeing. And even though we were winning, I didn't really care to, because it's bigger than us individuals. Boxing is a sport. And so we want to contribute things that are going to give balance, because it's not about if you're winning or losing in these tournaments. Those are moments. You capture the moments whether you lose or win, because they're all a part of the bigger story. And that's a factor of your life. And what you're getting out of it is learning things that's going to help you apply the proper discipline in life, mental composure, and an actual process. And you place that process within a system. And that system helps you operate as a great husband, a great father, a great mother. It doesn't matter, but that's kind of what it gives you. It's an all in all. And when I go to these tournaments, and I used to really appreciate going, you got Evander Holyfield over here, Thomas the Hitman Hearns over here, James Lights Out Tony over there. It's, Tio Lopez, the one down here in South Florida is really, really amazing. People show up, Mike Tyson, you know, it's just the norm. So we want you guys moving forward and coaches to understand that there are people here that are here to help you. Not everyone had my luck, and I was lucky. But what I did do is break off something. So here are the levels that people don't understand about boxing. Number one, let me show you exactly, and hopefully you guys got the website, usaboxing.org, to go watch it. If not, I'm going to stream some of it in our School of Boxing group, the School of Boxing, the Winner's Circle, and let our guys see it. And then I walk them through and I talk them through and give them kind of inside voice and let them understand what's actually happening, because there's boxing, there's the business of boxing, and then there's the politics of boxing, like we went over last week on the show here. Hopefully, you got an opportunity to watch all of those shows. We did 5 back to back. If you haven't, go and just tune in. It doesn't matter which one you look at. One of the things that I appreciate about what we are providing you is I know none of it is smoke and mirrors. It's all solid information that you can journal down in ink. And when you're going to these things, it's important that you are paying attention to, the growth pattern. So hopefully this is giving you something that you can hang on to. But what are the things that you're going to need is to make it to that level is the peak program protocol. Because honestly, boxing is set up, and it's set up the same way life is in business. That's why they say the rich get richer and then the poor get poorer, because the rich are operating in a process, in a system. They basically wake up in the morning and do everything that's boring that no one else wants to do. But those are the things that get you to the highest level. Broke people wake up in the morning, and I can relate. I've been broke a whole lot of times in my life. Wake up in the morning, and the only thing you want to do is what you feel like doing. And so you want to do the fun things like a kid. A kid, you take them into the grocery store and walk them down the vegetable aisle and say, pick what you want. And they're like, nah. But you take them down the cereal aisle, the cookie aisle, the potato chip aisle, they grab everything. And that's exactly the analogy, because if you're eating vegetables, you're going to be a superstar physically. But if you're eating potato chips, candy, and cookies, you're going to have a lot of problems. And that's the exact same methodology that we talk about in the sport. The choices that you make, if you have the right choices, you're going to give your body, your mind, the right opportunity to have success and become wealthy. And wealthy is basically having what you want on your own time because of the things that you did to get there. Hopefully that made sense. It's the choices. And then you're in a bad situation because of the choices. Laws of attraction is a real thing. So all you have to do is learn process. So that's kind of what this is about, being peak program protocol, not what you want to do or not what you did as a amateur yourself or a pro as yourself, but the actual protocol, because you were talented. You had a little more talent than the other kids. That's why you won. You didn't win because of your process, your protocol, and that peak programming. You won because you were kind of like Sugar Ray Leonard. So that's kind of what we're trying to make sure that's not moving forward. Coaches, you have to operate like a surgeon. Go to school, then go to residency, and then start operating, not the other levels. Here are the 6 levels of amateur boxing. So if you want to learn what the 6 levels is, tune in 7 weeks and I'll tell you all of them. No, I'm about to tell you in 10 seconds because that's how I do. I'm not going to do that to you. Hopefully, and let me know, take a second and let me know exactly where it is you're watching from. What's going on, my man Raj? Or is that Rage? Dawns. That's the name. Tell me where you're from, brother. That's an interesting name. I don't know anybody with that name in here in Miami. That's cool. Pretty cool. So here are the 6 levels if you guys are interested in learning a little bit more, and just understand these are the levels that you got to get educated on a different plateau. So if you're going into the gym and you're working the same regimen, let's just say you go into the gym and you're boxing and you make it out of the novice ranks. Okay, novice is under 10 fights unless you go to a tournament and win. Say that's the beginning stages. And what you can expect to have out of that is learning experience. Let me see. Okay, Wakefield, Massachusetts. You're all right, man. That's good. Nice. It's good to meet you. That is, where are you from? Bruce, what's up, Bruce? Hey, we cousins or something? You from North Carolina, Outer Banks. I love the Outer Banks. It used to be my favorite place when I lived in North Carolina. Bruce, man, I know what you're doing over there. That is, if you haven't been to the Outer Banks, they got a series on Netflix called The Outer Banks. Pull it up. It's a good one. Don't matter how old you are, it's good. The kids are really, I think when you start, going to awesome places, and the Outer Banks is awesome. You go to awesome places, that's kind of addictive. That's sort of like those cookies I was talking about for a kid. When you go to an awesome place, you always want to be in an awesome place. That's why I took it to the next level, and I moved to South Florida. So number 1, so entry level is the novice. Number 2, it's open fighters. That's 10 or more fights. And the only thing about this is when you go to a tournament, because a lot of people get this misconstrued. You go to a tournament, and if you win, let me turn my mic up. You go to a tournament and you win, that's what also qualifies you to be an open fighter. Or if you go to a competition and there's no one for you to fight because everybody else is above you and you choose to fight, you can fight another fighter who's in an open ranking. And then if you win, you're open now. So there are ways that you get there. Be careful because you might be running into the smoke. So coaches, don't be anxious. It's a progression over the course of time. Let me see what we got here. Nico Watkins, Toledo, Glass City. I feel you. Where is that at, though? What state? Welcome to the Daily Show with Eric Bradley. Next, now another thing about open, it changes. See, here's level 3. This is where a lot of my compadres who are in my school, the School of Boxing, what they are. See, this is where everything starts to get tricky, but I'm going to clarify it and make it clear. So hopefully you can be patient with me just a second. I just don't like confusion. And when I was in boxing learning this stuff, it was a lot of stuff that was confusing. So I'm going to tell you with my mind what was confusing to me. And matter of fact, give me 1 second because I have to actually include in my Instagrammers. I can't not go live there because this is very important information. And then I'll run back through what I said with you just a second, but I'm only doing it because I got to do it for my Instagram. My Instagram audience is they got to get the information too. So number one, the 6 levels of fighters that it is one, novice, which is the beginners. Number two, now you got open. Now, when you're fighting open, just because you win and you're getting ready to go to another tournament, that doesn't mean you're a real open fighter at that tournament. Because hence is number 3. When you are in an open status wise, don't get big headed. You better realize this: open just means you have a title as far as the name, but don't get it twisted. You're not very experienced in boxing, because now you're going to the regionals. You got your regional competitor. A regional competitor has to fight people that are from his region and not from his little local area where you can build up 8-9 fights easily and win and beat those guys. You got to fight guys who are not from your town. Okay, you got to fight different competition. They train different, they think different, they got a different culture. So you're kind of back at a novice status when you go regional, but you have fights and you have experience. Now, the next level after regional competitor is national. So now you're going, and when you go to the nationals, the only day you really see bad fights is the first day, because that's a 5-day tournament. What's happening right now? This is a qualifier for the Olympics. They are going to be there all week. Today is day 3. And when you are at that level of competition, you basically start all over. So you are a novice again if your first tournament, because you haven't had to weigh in for 5 days. You've only weighed in once, okay? Because when these tournaments happen, you got to weigh in a multitude of times. You got to keep making weight. Hence is why I tell you all you coaches to get them on a program, a lifestyle meal system, and get someone that's in your network that really is really tied to food and fitness and stuff like that, that they can contribute and donate the time to help coach those guys up. Because if not, what's going to happen is there are guys who don't make weight and they can't fight. And if you're in that boat, shame on you, because this is an opportunity to build and build and build and grow and grow and grow and understand discipline and levels of discipline. Ohio, I get it. Thanks, Nico. Appreciate you, brother. So another thing, now you're on an international level. Once you get used to national tournaments, because I see a lot of you get the opportunity to go and say, yeah, I fought at a national tournament. But what you'll see is the guy that used to be good in your local fights, and then he goes regional. Yeah, he still wins. But then when he goes to the national, he's like, yo, he got knocked out in the first round. Why? Because it's levels to this thing. The further you go up, new level, new devil. So you think you're an open fighter and you think you're open when you go to the nationals. This guy got 160 fights. You think you're open? You got 9 fights, 10 fights. You actually had your 5th fight, and then you fought against an open fighter in a tournament, local tournament, and you won. So now they say you're open, but you're fighting a dude with 170 fights. You're not open. You're novice, because it's a skill set that you have to bring into that level. It's a skill set that you have to bring in the regionals and then the nationals and then the internationals. Why? You have to have more versatility. You have to understand how to adjust and adapt. This is why I created this book. It's a great read because what it does, I got to let my IG people see it. What it does is it breaks down every single method that you have to use going into these competitions, because you're going to see them all. And then the coaches get all week to watch you. And once you get to day 3, day 4, they know exactly who you are. They already got your tendencies. They're recording you on the phone. And that boy got a nice jab. Let's see what we can do with it. That guy got a good right hand. He likes to throw a left hook behind his right hand, but he has a lazy jab. So we're going to counter his jab, take his jab away, and then we're going to fluster him and fight him on the inside. He has no inside game. Every time he gets close, he has to run. He takes off. So these are the things that by day 3, day 4, you can't avoid. So everything that you're weak in, they got the data. These coaches are serious. They don't play this, and they've typically been there 9, 10 times. When you get that kind of experience in an international level, you will get blown away because you just don't belong yet. But it's not because you can't fight. It's just you don't understand that level. And I told you before, new level, new devil. And we understand how important it is. Then you go to the next level after that when you get groomed in that style, because a lot of you are talking about fighting pro and you haven't even had amateur fights. So you don't understand what happens when you are developing levels and how to adapt to different people. See, boxing is not fighting in the street or fighting at the nightclub. Boxing is a sport. You have to know how to throw a long ball. You have to know how to throw over the shoulder. You got to know how to hit a boy over the corner in a dig route. You got to know how to run a zigzag. All of these different routes you got to know. You got to understand the playbook of boxing. And if you don't, you're going to be the opponent, the guy that we just beat the shit out of. And that's what the pros is. The pros is prize fighting. So if you go pro and you don't have any idea of what adjusting is, you're working with a bunch of physicians that know how to slice you without even cutting out a line. They could cut around that artery without slicing it and then stitch it up so nice and beautiful. And you can be right back to normal, better than ever without the physical therapy. That's what will happen to you. See, you got to realize that when you're going pro, you're going into an entirely different thing. You have no understanding of the operations of boxing. You're really not clear on what is it that they do different. I can just fight. Yeah. Okay. Let's see how that works. You got 900 IQs around you, and all of them understand boxing more than you do, and they're just going to use you. All right. So national and international levels offer you something that you could just never get anywhere. Anywhere. That prepares you for number 6, Olympics. And that's where all of those boosters and networks and sponsors and all of the people that will endorse you as you decide to go pro and sign your contracts. You're going to have Mayweather Promotion, Golden Boy Promotion, Top Rank Boxing, Matchroom Boxing, all of these different entities there to watch you. And it's a beautiful thing because some kid's life is about to start and he understands the process. He understands there are a lot of different things. He understands he has to build a team around you. And when he can build a team around himself, he'll already have a nutrition. He'll already have a pad man. He'll already have a tactician. He'll already have a cornerman. He'll already have a head coach. He'll already have all of these different things in trainers: speed coach, explosive coach, flex coach, all of these different things. See, there's just so much you don't understand about boxing. Hence is why when people say they want to come into boxing and they're just green, they don't understand. There's so many levels that you don't know about. It's good to get around people who've been there so you understand how to get to those straps that I talk about. That's why my university is Champions University, because all you got to do is follow the process. And that is 27, 28, 29 of those. And all you do is just follow the process, levels, adjustments, different styles, different systems, different methodologies in which to train. You'll never learn everything, but you'll learn everything here because it's in front of you to learn. See, you learn a skill, you forget it before you even actually implement it. And when you can do that, then you have to put it in a system, a program, and a process. So the process is there, the program is there, the system is there, the lineage is there, the victories, We're upwards of 300 responsible for over 300 champions. We got some experience, and they don't all fall up into me. I just got lucky and fell up into the downline. So I just want you all to appreciate where the game going, and go over to usaboxing.org and watch these young men cross over. Now, there used to be 7, and number 7, which is where my mentor was, he was actually working in this against guys like Lomachenko. World Series of Boxing was the crossover lane. So you don't wear headgear and you fight like you're going into the pro, like you're a professional fighter. And Lomachenko was able to compete there. My uncle was actually doing that. And that is where it really, you'll figure out, it's pro boxing for you. And at the same time, you'll realize, are you for it? Because that's prize fighting. It's a different sport. And so that helps you really develop that dexterity that you'll need as a pro. So hopefully this gave you some value in understanding this, and you'll support boxing on on another level, and that we have given you some stuff that will help you really, really. Let me take a couple of people before I close this out. And let me see. I appreciate you, brother. Hey, Chris. Appreciate you, man. I speak the truth. Yeah, I try to work very hard on making sure that the guys going into this next generation don't experience a lot of things that I got to see or experience. Bruce Bradley, how can I get in touch with you privately? You can DM us your email and phone number if you have, if you want to, guys want to get on a call, schedule it, and make sure that you're seriously, about business, because I'm a busy guy. We'll make sure that we check everybody out before we get on the call. So DM us here, or you can go to the website, or you can go here. Email us at, I should always have this. I should always have this on the screen, so people who really are in the sport for real. I did this, got a chance to take a coach on a journey yesterday down in Miami. Support at masterboxingllc.com. You can email us here and talk, schedule a call. Of course, we got my people protecting, making sure you just don't try to get at me and you're not serious about this, because I'm serious. But having the right people in the right place. I got to take you guys on a tour. So if you go to the post under this, like I said today, you will get an opportunity to see what it takes to actually open a boxing gym and what you need to look for. And next week, I'll let you know where you can get money to do that if you don't have the capital, but you have to basically just have things in a row. And I'm going to do that. And let me know if this is something you like to learn about. Let me know by liking and saying yeah or something, because that's how we know what to put out here. We know what kind of content to put out because you respond to it. Facebook says they like that, then I say they like that, and then I bring the smoke. Get what I'm saying? So let me know. Don't sit back and ghost watch and ghost follow. Even if you don't like me, just say, but I know he know what he's talking about, and I want him to tell me this, because it's a lot of people that I had to, bite and listen to, but they knew what they was talking about. So thanks again, man. But take the time, look at that. If you have any further questions, you can email us at support@masterboxingllc.com and inquire about whatever it is, you have to inquire about. And at the same time, I look forward to seeing you all soon in the winner circle. Champions University is our sponsors today. The place where you can actually go and make champions, and it's real. It's actually real. It exists. And the same thing is for all of you guys who are doing amazing things. Go check out usaboxing.org to watch these tournaments and watch these young kids and these young guns get it popping. And like I said before, special shouts out to our sponsor, Champions University, where our program is all about making champions. Champions University, the future and the present of boxing. That's all I got, guys. Continue blessings. All my brothers in the school of boxing, be good and listen and train those guys right. I'll see you guys next week. Well, tomorrow we got a fight show. So tune in, 5:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Much love to you, and much love to you.